One of my clients replaced me with an agency. You know the type. You get on the Zoom and there's like 8 people. They're in locales around the world. There's people in Bali, there's people in LA, there's people in New York. Like a Caesar salad. There's a little bit of everything in there. They have a creative strategist. They got a brand guy, designers. They have technicians. And anytime you have a question, there's 17 people on the call to take care of everything. But when you get in the ad account, you get into the Shopify or the bank account, you're like, really doesn't look that good in here. Well, the reason it's not looking good in your bank account is because things look good in their bank account. You know, a lot of agencies, they have a really good business model and they'll be crushing it making money. But their clients, they might not be doing that well. You might hear about this on Twitter. You might be on Twitter one day and you're like, you hear about this brand and they're not doing so well. But then you talk to the agency owner or you see the agency owner and you're like, man, that guy travels a lot. He's all over the place. That's great. That's good for him. But getting back to the point, one of my clients replaced me with an agency. And I was, my feelings were hurt. I'm a sensitive type of guy. So I did what any sensitive guy would do. I started setting alarms for 90, 120, 180, 360 days because the Pareto principle comes into effect. 80% of the people who do any skill are not good at it. And especially in agency work, I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of really good salespeople out there in agency world, but there's not as many good technicians who are attached to good salespeople. So you have a lot of, I personally think there are people who are good at what they do out there. Maybe it is 80-20, same thing. But what I have seen is that you won't always see the best salesperson with the best technical abilities. And that's an issue that some agencies have. They'll have a great salesperson, but the guy on the tech side isn't that awesome. The guy who's pushing the buttons, the person who's doing creative strategy, that can affect your business. So what you want to do is you want to judge them based upon the activity in your account, not the activity on their Twitter account. And also, you don't even want to care about what's happening with their other accounts. You might see them posting screenshots day in and day out. Oh, my brand is doing this, that brand is doing this, my other brand is doing that. But you look in your Shopify or in your Chase Bank and you're like, it's not so good in here. So that's, these are some of the things I'll point out to you. But let's get back to my point. So I was replaced by this agency, and it was a good long while. They held on to that account with an iron fist for, I would say, about almost a year. And then eventually, what I would do is, this is a tactic for you agency guys out there, it's a good one, is just send emails periodically saying, hey, I just wanted to check in with you. It's been 180 days. Wanted to know how you're doing. You could do it at 120. I would even do it at 30, to be honest with you. You probably don't open up every one of those emails. Some of them, they might just skip over. But what happens is one day, if they're having trouble, your email comes in, they're like, man, I remember that guy. He was a great guy. He was easy to work with. He made it easy to offboard. He didn't erase any of our campaigns. He didn't overcharge us. He didn't say we have a contract. Those are the things you don't want to do, by the way, agency folks. You don't want to erase do any damage on the way out. That's just ridiculous. You don't want to hold them into a contract. You don't want to make it difficult to offboard. If anything, they tell you they're going to onboard a new agency. Hey, you need help giving them access? I'll help you out. Be helpful. Be helpful because that will come back to you. So getting back to the point. So they had left me high and dry. Well, not high and dry. They had left me. And then over time, I just kept in contact, sent some friendly messages out. And then one day, lo and behold, they sent me a message. Things ain't so good. We were doing 6 figures. Now we're back in the 50s and the 70s. I like the 50s and the 70s for you. So what I did was I said, hey, I'll do a free audit. Let me jump in there. And then after I did the free audit, I looked at things and it was a little bit difficult to see what was going on in the account because they had very complicated things going on. So I said to them, hey, I'll do you a favor. Why don't I have a call with your agency and we'll just talk. And I'll ask them some questions and they can tell me because this audit's not going so well. And maybe what I can do is give some helpful pointers to them, give them some advice on what it is that they could do to fix this account. And so I got on the phone with them and they were friendly to me and I was friendly to them. And the problem was they were kind of lost and they admitted it on the call. They basically just said, maybe it's time for us to exit this account. And very friendly process, and the account came back to me and it was easy enough, and I kept in touch with those guys. I actually referred business to them a while later because they were good at certain things, and it's just this one thing that they were handling for the brand they weren't good at. And I ended up getting a lot of work from this brand. I mean, a lot of work. And I really feel like it was the way that I played it. When they told me that they didn't want to be my brand anymore and my agency and my work, I didn't stalk them. I didn't go to their house and see if they were out late hanging out with their new boyfriend. I didn't text message them incessantly, when are we going to get back together again? None of that nonsense. Just let them go. Let them be free. If they need help with something, hey, you need some help. But put them on the tickler file. 60, 90, 180 days, 365, send them a message. I took that brand and I brought in the big guns at that point. I went to my people who I work with and I was like, we got to do good work for this brand. We got to hook this thing up. We don't ever want this brand to leave again. So that's what we did. We went in and rebuilt the email. We rebuilt the Facebook ads account. We did a tremendous amount of work in their Google Shopping, video, retargeting campaigns. I don't spend a lot of money on Google, but I like to set it up well, even though it doesn't spend a lot. We manually fixed the feed for Shopify going into Google Ads, and we were running a bunch of shopping ads, and we just really did all out press to make sure that this brand was super happy. And it went well, because within a few months we were scaling them up, and we went from 70 to 350 to nearly 7 figures in a short period of time. And it was all based upon the fact that the brand was a good brand, and I hadn't really burned any bridges. A lot of agencies will burn bridges on the way out the door. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're shooting yourself in the foot. And then we just ran it from there, and it was awesome. Ended up being a happy ending to that story. We were able to help them. We were able to keep them as a client. We were able to grow them. We got a lot of referrals out of them. They referred a lot of business to us. And as a result, our business grew. But the thing that I would look at this like a learning lesson is that even though I was extremely upset when they left, I didn't say a word about it. I was trying to be as nonchalant and as helpful as I possibly could. And that's what you need to do if you're seeing that kind of thing. We were able to take that brand back in and rebuild everything that we had built the first time around. There were some parts that the other agency had put in there that we didn't love, and there were some parts that we kept. We didn't go into that ad account and start shutting off every campaign. We didn't go into their Klaviyo and start just gutting it. We looked at it, we audited everything, we looked for the good and the bad, and then we kept some of what they had and we built a lot of new onto it. And at 90 days after that, I had set an alarm in my phone after the onboarding process to say, let's message the client and say, what's going on? Are you guys happy with our progress? What could have been done better? Is there anything we're missing? What are your new KPIs for 6 months from now and 12 months from now and 24 months from now? And we got back from them that they were very happy with the process. And so I was a little bit happy because we took failure, losing a good client, to victory. Victory was getting the client back for us. But that's not victory for the client. And then 90 days later, we delivered all of our deliverables to them and they were happy with it. And so the whole transaction was very happy for me. It was a good transaction. And if I hadn't done 2 things, it never would have happened. The first thing is, if I hadn't been okay with them leaving and just be helpful and sincere and be like, hey, I'm sorry you guys are going, but it is what it is. If I'd have been a mess, we might not have gotten back. The second thing is, I set that tickler, the alarm, for sending those drip emails like, hey, how's it going? How you been? Just want to make sure you're doing okay. And eventually, at the year mark, almost the year mark, that's when, boom, they answer one of my old emails and they're like, we'd like to talk. So if you need a free audit, if you want to have somebody check out your ads account or your Klaviyo, take a look at what's going on in there, message me below.